Hi, everyone. I'm Pinar Ormeci. I'm the CEO of Timus Networks, and I have with me here Matt Tankersley. Everybody calls him Tank. He's the CEO of TechOnPurpose, one of the Timus partners. Thanks so much, Tank, for joining me today.
Absolutely my pleasure, Pinar. Thanks for having me.
And Tank, actually, I wanted to ask you, I know that you love diving as much as I do. So before even I go to the difficult questions, like, did you recently go on a diving trip, or do you have anything planned?
Man, I wish. We're actually hoping to get out to Honduras, I think, in spring break time frame. But I think my last dive was probably in Hawaii right at the start of COVID. I haven't done a lot since then.
Yeah, same with me. To be honest, I'm so busy, but it's one of those things that always brings down my nerves. You know, it's like meditation. But anyway, so you know the format. This is really just a 7-minute podcast, as I call it. I'll start by asking Tank, how did the world change for you post-COVID as an MSP? Did it become harder? Did it become easier?
Well, we've certainly established it's impacted my diving game a little bit. So no, I don't know if we're unique or not, but Pinar, if anything, our business went through the roof with COVID, right? And we've clearly spent decades plus teaching people that they can work and be productive from anywhere, any place, on any device. And of course, with the advent of all of our cloud technologies that are available to us today, that's only gotten better and easier. But what we found is we had this workforce and this customer base that,
Yeah.
despite all of our coaching, hadn't made the major shift to work remotely, and then they had to. So honestly, we got real busy at that time.
Yeah. No, and it makes sense. It makes sense. And so let me ask you a question. I guess this is not really relevant to COVID and so on, but how do you define success when you're working with clients? And as it relates to this, how important is it to be a trusted advisor for your clients?
Well, I mean, to me, it's everything, right? That's our goal out of the gate. In fact, it's part of our tag, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about being a trusted partner. And a lot of people talk about it. For me, it's a history and an experience that I have in my career, and it's certainly the mindset I set on all of my staff, all day, every day. So being trusted is critical, and we work hard. We care for our clients first and foremost. A lot of us put our business hat on and go, well, how much money am I making on this product versus that product, and should I sell it or not? And the reality is that creates a conflict sometime where we have clients, we know they have a need, and for us to sell them that product wouldn't necessarily mean a lot of profit for us. But the reality is we're not in the business at the end of the day of doing anything but taking care of our clients, and we'll get to the profitability aspect, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps, but yeah.
And I guess for small, medium businesses, they have their core business, they have their own challenges and so on. And that's one of the reasons they are working with managed service providers, right? To, hey, do the homework, do the research for me so that I can actually focus on what
Do best.
what I am doing. And that's why I guess like this being this trusted advisor, like you mentioned, is really important. Hey, this is really the world where it's going with all this remote work. This is how you need to protect yourself and so on. And that actually brings me to my next question. I do know that the SASE, of course, with the remote work is now all the buzzword getting into 2024. And as a Timus partner, like, how is it going with convincing your clients that zero trust is needed, SASE is absolutely important from your side?
Well, two parts to your question, right? What's the role and importance of SASE in the marketplace today, especially for me and my customers and my peers and their customers? And there's no question that, in the context of an earlier point that I made, doing more with less and being able to do that from anywhere and any device. How do we do that and maintain the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our data and our systems? And there's no question the old way of doing that is complex, expensive, and timely. And tools like Timus have really helped not only our clients, but us. As an example, we have clients that subscribe to various services in the cloud, say Google or Microsoft, and they don't currently subscribe to Timus. But we've literally locked down our administrative access using Timus to their portal, further frankly, mitigating our risk as folks that have administrative access to their portals. And what's interesting, chatting with your team this morning, I said, we're going to be reaching out to our clients, one, to let them know that we've tightened our security on our accounts, and maybe you should consider doing the same thing with this cool product we have.
Yeah, and actually, absolutely, MSPs are one of the ideal customers to be using SASE, right? Because you access your, obviously, tools remotely all the time, and it's so important making sure that whenever you're accessing it, it's secure and you're protected. So what about Timus? Because I have to ask it, right? I'm the CEO of Timus. So what drove you into Timus in the first place? But then equally important, what kept you with us?
So we can spend a lot of time on this one, right? And what's interesting is even before I met you, and I think that we've got a wonderful relationship. I'm enjoying working with you and hope to have many opportunities to do that. But I met some junior members of your team, and what I developed with them very early on, which is more of a responsibility of theirs than mine, was trust, right? We talked about that a minute ago as MSPs with our clients, but we as MSPs have to trust our supplier partners. And so the team that you had that interacted with us first was wonderful at doing that. They clearly cared about our business. They were very flexible in how we might go about entering into a pilot with the product and made adjustments based on our perhaps unique needs. Not all MSPs are not created equal.
Yeah.
And so, man, it was fabulous. It's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. And we're doing nothing but continuing to expand our relationship and our adoption with you daily.
And I really love hearing that, Tank. I mean, this is one of the things that a lot of MSPs tell us, and sometimes they personally reach out and mention like somebody went way above and beyond what is normally expected. And that's really the culture that we are trying to build in Timus. So whenever I hear feedback like this, I really love it. So another question I have is, how do you, from a sales enablement perspective, I mean, obviously, some of the solutions that you're selling is pretty technical, right? Or it requires a certain education on the client's part, why they need to do some of the things. How do you utilize your vendors when you want to articulate some of these technical solutions or concepts to the clients? Do you utilize them at all, or is it through just the material and so on? Like, how does that work?
It's a really great question. It hits close to home even today. We have 70 plus cyber solution partners in our portfolio. And then we've got some lead ones in that portfolio like Timus. I'm not kidding, guys. You guys are our favorite product. There's two that we've had in the past year of recent times. But, so part of our ability to earn trust is educating clients. I don't think that you can maintain trust unless you educate where there's a gap in knowledge in marketplace. And so part of the way that we build trust is as we're rolling technologies out, we communicate very proactively. Guys, this is coming down the pipe all the way down to each end user. Be aware this is coming. And when we do that, we want them to understand what we're bringing, why we're bringing it, and we want to give them shortcut resources to go get more knowledge on their own, watch videos and knowledge bases and things of that nature. And so just this morning, we were working on a similar product rollout communication in that context. And so we will always look to our supplier portals or partner portals or whatever partner resources we have. In the absence of those, we'll go to the supplier's knowledge base, the public-facing knowledge base, and we'll look for the type of content that allows us to concisely convey the right message that end users need to hear without being overwhelmed. And so it's critical to us. And when we don't have it, and I think this morning I was working with a different supplier, same topic. They have as an MSP supplier in the channel, they really focus on communication to the partner. And they really haven't tightened any kind of communication to the consumer or the user of that. And so very oftentimes we're having to repurpose MSP-focused content to be MSP client-focusing content. And so, man, that's a critical need for us. We use it daily. And in the absence of it, we create it. So we're grateful for all of our suppliers like Timus who equip us with these tools.
Yeah, and especially how busy you are, right, as an MSP. I think last thing you want to be doing is if you have 70 vendors trying to create a solution whereas the vendor already knows their value proposition the best, right? So
Right.
sales enablement is absolutely pretty critical.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is it.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, I always love seeing you, and I'm sure on the road I'll be seeing you this year again. But in the meantime, thank you so much.
I'm certain. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.